Yeah, Penrith, 3
Pretty
in
good
a
moment.
row. Now, Brandy, for the record, just so everyone is aware how big this is, what Penrith are chasing right now and in pretty good position, no team outside the Dragons in that 11 straight premiership run has won more than 3 in a row. So the gap is Dragons 11 straight, 56 to 66 inclusive, and then no team's won more than 3 in a row. So Penrith, it's rarefied air. Ivan Cleary is the man at the helm of this incredible club at the moment, and he joins us right now on Breakfast with Vossi and Brandy. Appreciate your time. Ivan, things going along nicely, but is the coach happy sitting second on the ladder with what you've seen from your team this year?
Good morning, boys. Thanks for having me on. I'm reasonably happy. It's a season sort of divided into different parts, and it goes for a fairly long time. So, all things considered, we started the year going to England, and that was a really nice reward to be able to go over there and compete in the World Club Challenge. But it's also got its challenges preparing for the year. So, and then I guess like every other club, we've had our injury issues, and the State of Origin period is always a challenge for us. But yeah, with 7 rounds to go, sitting in second, pretty happy with how things are going.
Ivan, were you always going to rest the players, or did you rest the players on the back of what happened last Wednesday and just the enormity and the brutality of the game, or was it always penciled in to rest all players?
You sort of start the Origin period with a bit of a plan, and that can take so many different paths depending on many things. I mean, obviously, how many wins you've got in the bank, and like where you sit on the table. Like obviously, if you're sort of scratching for wins or at the wrong end of the table, you're probably going to need your best players as often as you can. So there's all these sorts of things that we look at. We've done this for the last couple of years. We've given the boys off some time off after the last game, and just how it panned out with the enormity of the game and the decider and up travel up in at Suncorp and all that sort of stuff, and just the emotion that goes into. Seems like every year Origin gets bigger. It was something that I wanted to do, but every time you do it, you still think it's a little bit of a risk because every game's important too. So, but we haven't been. Yeah, we've lost a couple of games in this Origin period, which we never like to, particularly at home. So we're really keen to get a result in the weekend. And whilst it took a while, I was pretty nice feeling to actually get that and give our guys, our biggest assets some time off as well.
Well, the way the game did finish, Nathan hasn't played much footy this year because of the hamstring. Have you? I really don't know what question to form around Nathan, but he has become one of the great clutch players in the game, and that field goal was just it was incredible. The fact that the boys got themselves into a position for Nathan to at least have a shot, because it looked like it was going to be the set finishing on the other side of halfway, but a couple of good plays to lead into what was an incredible field goal.
Yeah, I guess the main thing there is he practices for these sorts of moments and has been doing it for many years, and it's just got to a point in his career where he's comfortable enough he wants those moments, and when you're not going to get them every time, but if you're not taking the shot, you've got no chance. So he said himself that he wasn't thinking field goal mid set. And then, as you mentioned, it's a really nice carry from Dane Laurie and backed up by Matt Eisen, who just put him, all of a sudden, the opportunity came and he pulled the trigger. So, it was obviously a nice feeling. Great to have Nat back. I mean, you talked before about, trying to win premierships. At the end of the day, you need your best players playing well at the right time of the year, and hopefully we can get all our boys, back together and give ourselves another crack.
Ivan, as a dad, you're probably told to give him a little extra pocket money this week based on that comeback performance. 2 sideline conversions off the post, field goal to win the game. Unbeknownst to you, Ivan, you are actually at the mercy of the listener today. We've asked them to fire in questions. We're going to get to them in a moment on the text line. There are all sorts of questions. There was one I did, or a couple I want to ask you. First of all, as a leading coach in the NRL, we've been throwing out there today the number of teams, the number of rounds. What, in your opinion, is the right number of rounds that we should ask our players to play, the clubs to play? If it was up to Ivan Cleary to formulate the competition, how many rounds would you play? Forget the number of teams, but how many rounds do you think is the right number?
Well, I'm going to go with the amount of teams because I feel like as we talk about expansion, I think that's part of this. I think if we expand to, I don't know, let's say 20 teams, I think 19 rounds should be it because you should play every team once. I feel like that's something we've lost in the game. I feel it's a little unfair at times. The draw, I don't know if unfair is right. It's just imbalanced, the draw. I reckon around about 20 games, I think would be about right. I feel that's still plenty of games, and I feel like we can still get Origin in there somewhere. And we can use the women's game as it grows for the broadcasters as well. That will grow the girls' profiles and get a different fan base, perhaps. And that's kind of where I've said about 20, I reckon.
Okay, all right. Now, the other question I had for you, Ivan, and we've had chats pre-season where I've said to you, for the fan, I've said, well, why not go to 6? You know, like, have you dared to dream? How have you changed as a coach? A bit of personal analysis from 3 years ago where you haven't won a premiership to now winning 3. Would you say you are a different coach?
Yeah, I would. Yeah, I would. I think the main thing is probably early in my career, I was probably more of a survivor than chasing victories. I mean, I definitely wanted to win all the time. But it's also different when you actually get a team that's capable of winning the premiership, which not every team probably is each year. I definitely feel like I'm prepared to risk a little bit more to actually win. So that's probably the biggest change. Apart from that, it's probably just experience. And it's amazing how many times you watch football. The more games you watch, the more things you've seen before. So you don't really know that until you actually go through it. So I think that helps.
Just on that just made me think about, so when you've got a team that's playing well and they're confident and they're winning, do you think that has an effect on a coach? Does that coach, and you said, you're a survivor, but is that your confidence that is also, do you think the players see that in the coach as well? Like you see that in the players. Do they see that in you, the fact that you're a winning coach?
I just think there's something to be said for developing. You hear the phrase a winning culture. I think that's part of it, which is that's like a day in, day out kind of event where it's probably led by someone's got to lead it, and then that becomes the standard, and that becomes that's the only thing that's acceptable, I guess. I mean, obviously they can't win all the time, but if you're winning every single, as many moments as you can every day, then it'll eventually come out on the field if everyone's aligned.
Now, we threw it out to our listeners and said text in questions. This one from the Southern Warrior says, question for Ivan, what is your best memory of coaching the Warriors in the NRL? Best memory?
It would be there's a few good ones, but probably the 2011 grand final day when we had 3 grades in the grand final. It was extraordinary, I think, and for any club to ever do that, but for a team that travels every second week to get 3 grades in there, it was pretty amazing. And that was my last day actually on the job too. So fortunately we didn't win it, but that was a pretty nice memory.
Yeah. This one, morning, VB. I don't have a question for Ivan. I just wanted to share a story. My wife works in aged care, and she has met Ivan and his family, and she talks about what wonderful people they are and how humble Ivan and down-to-earth Ivan is. That's from Junior Smithy. So there's a wrap for you, Ivan. This one,
Thank
morning,
you.
boys. I'd like to know what Ivan's long-term goals are. Does he want to be a Bellamy and stay at the Panthers, or more a journeyman like Wayne Bennett, taking on new challenges, winning premierships at other clubs? Have you dared to think about that, Ivan?
No, I haven't. I'm happy where I am. I'm just sort of, I'm fortunate to have another 3 years locked away here, and just worrying about the next week at the moment.
Greg of Campbelltown says, I'd like to know who Ivan has learnt most about coaching off.
I learned most about rugby league from Phil Gould, without a doubt. Coaching, there's so many people, there's too many to mention. But I learned a lot from my dad when I was young, when he was coaching me in various sports that I didn't know at the time, but I still. Yeah, I think I took a lot of stuff from there, but lots of different people. Yeah.
Big G says, does Ivan feel a sense of pride seeing players that have come through his system being leaders at other clubs? So those that have moved on, but are key players and leaders for other clubs.
Yeah, I must say I'm still trying to come to terms with seeing those guys in different colours, but I am definitely, there is a sense of pride for sure. Yeah, even the Origin game last week. Yeah, Happy Coruscant example. I do. Billy Army Kickout is another one who's really stepped it up. So, yeah, it is pretty cool.
Ivan Cleary, our special guest here on Breakfast with Vossi and Brandy, and we're very conscious of his time because another busy workday at Penrith, but your questions are great coming in on the text line. Can we ask Ivan, this from the Pimble Panther, Ivan, what is the plan to replace the fish, please? So you've already picked up Isaiah Papali'i, but he's not necessarily front row. Can you reveal, would you like to see a front rower playing first grade at another club? Is that what you need for James Fisher-Harris, or does he get replaced from within?
Well, this is a little bit like, Happy Coruscant, Stephen Crichton, Billy Army Kickouts. You just can't replace those guys like for like. So we just have to adapt and sort of evolve our team differently. You're right. We have signed Isaiah, who I think is going to be a great addition to our team. Other than that, we'll just have to, just manage our team the best way we can. You just can't replace guys like Fish. And he's just been such an enormous contributor for our club for so long. And right now, just really focused on enjoying, the time we have left with him, and hopefully we can, send him out in a good note.
Yeah, he's been fantastic. But on the other side of the scrum is Moses Leota. And I don't think there's a front row in the game where you can say, well, there was just a moment of individual brilliance from Moses Leota. And that was the case on the weekend. Bit of footwork, close to the line, speed, gets a try, gets Penrith back in the game. He's a unique front rower because he can play tough, but he can run like an outside back at times.
He has been, the source of so many good things for us and so many big moments. I thought the weekend's game had a little bit of grand final vibes about it, and then I didn't even realise, but Moses was the one who scored, to start the comeback last in the grand final as well. So sure enough, on the weekend he just pulled something out of nothing really, and set us off again. So he's been an amazing part. He'll be he'll sort of take the mantle from Fish, and he'll be leading us into the future, which we're in pretty good hands, I think.
Okay, here's a personal one for you from Boomo. This is a good one. Never been asked, I reckon. Other than Penrith, which club you've played with or coached is closest to your heart? Are you close to Manly, the Bears, the Roosters, the Warriors, the Tigers? Is who's dearest to the heart from the playing days? Ivan, can you reveal a soft spot or not?
It's a good question. It's a hard one to answer. I mean, because they're all at some point they've all have a piece of that. I mean, Manly was my junior club, so that holds a special sort of bond when you make your debut and stuff. And I really enjoyed my time at the Roosters. Had some really good mates there, and some good times. The Warriors was the first sort of club that I really felt a connection to in terms of community. Moving over there, it was was a big move for our family, and still have a really soft spot for the Warriors, definitely. And who wouldn't love the North Sydney Bears? I mean, I still bump into so many people who talk about the Bears, and they're all still really hopeful that one day, you never know. So I think, peace to all of them everywhere you go. I'm very grateful for the fact that I've been able to sort of have those experiences.
Just before we let you go, Ivan, one more. The Leichhardt Bulldog says, "Are you astounded that the Tigers let Dane Laurie go, who was very good again on the weekend?"
How good was he on the weekend?
Look, I don't know. It's you wouldn't say, if you look at let's say Jerome Buller, you wouldn't say, well, that kid isn't a special talent. So you can't fit them all in, I suppose. But we're very happy to get Dane back. He loves it here too. You can really tell that, and he's been an amazing fill-in for Dill Edwards. I picked him on the wing against the Broncos a couple of weeks ago when Dill came back, because he was just playing so well. So hopefully he can continue that while Dillon's out over the next few weeks.
Now, the Panthers take on the Dragons this Sunday. Ivan, really appreciate all the time you've spent with us here. Breakfast with Vossi and Brandy, it's been a treat.
Oh, Andy, you guys are so good. Why wouldn't I? So.
Give him a
nice.
signet boost, pal.
Keep that clipped up. We'll clip that up. Thanks, Ivan.
We'll send you out a prize, Ivan. Well done. Great stuff. There it is, Ivan Cleary. Personally, never changed. Hasn't changed. Play back an interview we did with Ivan before he's even played, 4 years ago at Penrith, before he got in the grand final at Penrith. Same, but obviously within and coaching methods and all that, and he was pretty frank about that he's more a risk taker now.
Yeah. Thanks, everyone, for penning those questions, too. There were some beauties there.
All right, we'll take a break. Lee Hedgie-Pentelis not too far away. What can you say? Gus got away with saying the game is stupid. What can you say and can't say? This could be a lesson for us all.